It's complex, especially in Oakland. First and foremost, we think about runners, and then we ask the police, we talk to AC Transit, we talk to the City of Oakland special events, parks folks. We start to develop it after we kind of design something that we think is going to be interesting. And then they give us feedback, and then we go from there. And then we are responsible for actually making the course a reality. So what that means is working with OPD, working with staffing agencies, working with our team to actually have someone at each intersection, have barricades and signage, runners first, and then we work to try to then make it work with the city entities and Public Works and AC Transit, and not displace too many people on that Sunday morning going where they need to go. Because we don't want to shut down any more streets than we have to. In the beginning, it was volunteer run for the most part. I know Running for a Better Oakland gathered like 250 volunteers to make the first course happen. And then as it's grown and needed more structure and safety, we've then pulled in different entities to make sure we're doing it. You know, it used to start City Hall, Francogawa Plaza, and then as it grew, it just got harder with bus lines and transportation and everything. And actually, that grassy space is nowhere near the size of this, so we just kind of outgrew it. Moved here, then there was construction here. We went to East Shore Park for 2 years. The last year we were at East Shore Park was 2019. We were planning to do 2020 here, and now it's 2022, and we're finally here. The 13th of March, and our event was the 22nd.
Yeah, it's a week later, right?
So we were so naive. We scrambled and scrambled, and we were so naive, and we were scrambled, and we were like, okay, by the end of this happened on Friday night. By the end of the weekend, we're gonna have a new date for August. So we had a new date, and we had a new date. We had changed everything on the website. We had a press release for the website. You know, we were going to inform all the runners, and we were so naive, and we moved everyone to August, and then it was so obvious, you know, not very long after that August was not going to happen.
So did people get out?
So people could either get their stuff mailed to them, and essentially run it virtually, or we would just keep them in the race until the next time it happened. So some people running this year were planning on running 2020, and they haven't run until this year. So we honored their registration until this year. Over the course of time, we have hit a lot of different neighborhoods. Most recently, we've been really in love with this idea of going on the Bay Bridge. So our route focused on that. So a lot of the development of the route in the last couple of years has been to get runners from downtown Oakland all the way to Emeryville and to the Bay Bridge, which is pretty complex. But we made it happen in 2019, and then we all know what happened in 2020 and 2021. So the biggest races are half marathon and 5K. We actually just introduced the 10K this year, which is exciting because
I noticed that, yeah.
it's a big jump for 5Kers, and it's a fast training run for those doing races later in the season. It's a good sort of tempo run. Okay. So yeah, it starts out with what runners would like, and Lake Merritt's an obvious one because everyone thinks of Lake Merritt when they think of recreation in Oakland. And want to make sure we hit different neighborhoods because each neighborhood looks and feels a little bit different in Oakland, and it's fun to make up a course that embodies that. I really love the lake, and Broadway's a great street. There's a loss of maybe some of the interest of the Bay Bridge, but the course is still going to be flat and fast and fun, and there's going to be music and people screaming, and all those things are still going to happen. We actually, our shirts this year say the Oakland Running Festival. So we kind of go by both. Our logo says Oakland Marathon, and then it lists the other races below it. This year in particular, it's really going to feel like a festival because we're doing everything in the park, and it's 3 days long. So it really will have that vibe of a festival, lots of street closures and people out and about and stuff like that. We used to go up into the hills a little bit more and then come down. Again, a lot of the reason we're going northwest of the city is because we are trying to get to the Bay Bridge, right? So maybe in future years we'll go back into the hills. I mean, 26 miles is a lot, but it's not that much when you're talking about going that way. You actually can't do both in one run. So typically we like to have a sponsor for each race, right? So it's the Heritage Bank of Commerce 10K, right? And that's really fun for a company to participate in that way, really like taking ownership over an event. So that's an easy one. And then because we're gathering, 8,000 to 10,000 people plus their friends and family that weekend, we're seeing upwards of 25,000 people between Friday and Sunday, maybe more. For that reason, people who want to come vend here, so sell shirts, sell sunglasses, talk about their nutrition company, whatever, they often come to us and say, hey, can I pay to be at the finish line? In the past, we've done our expo inside. The shift was one, we often have great weather in Oakland, so why wouldn't we do it outside? And also, we were planning this and have been planning this throughout COVID, so one idea was just, hey, let's make it a little safer, let's put it outside. For that reason, everything that happened on Friday and Saturday, typically at the Marriott, is now happening here. So that's a Friday night packet pickup, meaning come get your shirt and bib and grab a beer from Drake's, hang out, ask some questions, get a massage, see other people who you run with, check everything out, know where the start line is, get kind of like your self ready for the event. Same thing will happen Saturday, that's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., same deal, hang out, check out our vendors, get your shirt, and we'll also have the kids run, which will be a fun little middle of the day excitement. I have sort of a park slant because I love Oakland Parks and serve on the board for Parks and Rec, and you're just kind of merging like the recreation part of the city with the business part of the city. There's no better park that does that. So I would venture to say that actually, because we have this event, we are a steward of the parks, not just the weekend of the event, but throughout the year. So we've actually adopted Snow Park as our adopted spot. When we first adopted it, it was like pristine because it was just finished. So mostly we've done just sort of trash collection and cleanup, not a ton of landscaping, but beyond that, activating parks and having events and people in them, actually, I mean, I drive by here or walk by here or run by here weekly, and it's because I want to make sure the park's in good shape, and because I care about it, and because we do a lot of operations out of here. So I think by activating the parks, we actually become better stewards of the parks. So, and I know we often leave it better than we find it, because we value the relationship with the parks, and that without them our event doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen in a beautiful space. And that's sort of our year-round relationship with the parks.